So to join Pakzan, two other key players enabling Sheetal to have this fabulous experience. One is Sridhar Gothin, a Dasra Giving Circle member, and the other is Kalyani Subramanyam, who is the program director of NAS. So please join on stage.
So good morning, everyone, and thank you for coming out this early. This is going to be a very tough act to follow, but we will try. I have here with me Kalyani from the Goal Program, who heads the Goal Program, and Sheetal is a participant of that program. So, and who is a very much loved part of the Dasra portfolio. And we have Sridhar, who is part of the Dasra Giving Circle that supports NAS as an organization and the Goal Program. So just a few questions to understand your experiences around giving collaboratively on your side, Sridhar. And then for you, Kalyani, on what the experience has been being part of this Giving Circle. So I'll start off with you, Kalyani. Your journey with Dasra has been very interesting, and it started way before the Giving Circle. So could you talk us through a little bit of that journey and then how you ended up in the Giving Circle?
So I met Deval Sanghvi at a conference in 2010, and I had no clue what Dasra was. So when I met him, he says, "Why don't you come for the Dasra Social Enterprise program?" And I was like, business and NGO work. Obviously, I come from an absolute social work, developmental sector background, feeling good, the altruism, and business and the NGO thing really didn't go hand in hand in my head then. So I signed up for this program, and he says, we will talk about the business model, how you can expand your program. And I believed that expansion meant loss of quality. So very unbelieving and really uncertain, I signed up for the program. And we were taught about elevator pitch, creating the model, pitching, talking about it. After completing the course, having learnt a lot, I came back still unconvinced. In those days, we reached out to about 1,500 girls through our model. We had a program in Delhi and Mumbai, and it's an intense model. 10 months, intensive sessions, working with girls who don't play. And I was like, how are we going to scale this? In 2012, there was a Giving Circle for adolescent girls. So Dasra came back and said, you know what, this is the time. You should apply for this. You can scale the program. And I was like, I can go from 1,500 to 3,000. I don't think we can do anything better than that. Even then, we realized that scale was not something we were ready for. But having said that, working with the teams, understanding our model better, 2013, when the Power of Play report came out, and they said, now we have a Giving Circle for using sport as a methodology, we were ready. We took on that challenge, and today, here we are. We've reached out to more than 26,000 adolescent girls. This year, we're going to do a target of 15,000. We have 70 community sport coaches, and we conduct trainings, Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Nepal, Myanmar. So it has made a difference, and that's been my journey with Dasra. Unbelieving and super convinced, and now I know we can make a difference.
Thanks, Kalyani. And I'll come back to you on your journey post joining the DGC. But just kind of turning to you now, Sridhar, could you, I think, just to start off with, speak to a little bit of your values as a giver, and just how that influenced or motivated you to join the Giving Circle, and where did you see synergies?
Yeah, well, in retrospect, that question kind of answers itself after hearing Sheetal speak and now Kalyani, I mean, I don't think there is any question or there should be any doubt that this is absolutely it's an honor actually to be given an opportunity to be associated with something like this. I mean, I think a lot of us, first generation entrepreneurs or professionals do have a very deep moral sense that there is so much inequity in society today that has to be addressed. We have a different kind of mindset, I think, compared to maybe earlier generations. But there is a lot of analysis paralysis as well. When you're thinking that, okay, you want to give till it's uncomfortable or it actually makes a difference to your financial position and you would like to take it to that level, then obviously there are questions in terms of, as you know, people are saying on the video as well, in terms of what is the impact, how is this going to be used. You do hear stories of mismanagement, and I think my very first meeting with Dasra, all of those questions were immediately put to rest. So it's something that made that decision, the implementation of that decision, very easy for me.
And if I could just push you a little bit more on that, right? When you were talking about the process,
Yes.
You're a lawyer.
Yes.
And you lead a legal
I'm sorry.
firm. And you've often spoken about how, research is important.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, when I was talking about the process, it's all of these elements: the diligence, the research reports, the quarterly updates, the calls, the field visits. All of these things combine to give both the, at an intellectual level, you want to know more about what they're doing, and it's really fascinating how they're going about various things in and making a difference. As a donor, you want to be kind of involved and close to the process. I really enjoy reading the reports, but also the field trips help you connect at an emotional level. I've done the field trip at one of the schools with the NAS coaches, the goal coaches, and I can just echo what Sheetal is saying. The difference between the girls who have just joined and the girls who have been in the program for 2 or 3 years is remarkable in terms of their confidence, in terms of their personalities. I had the pleasure of actually playing netball with them, and initially there was a bit of discomfort, but after a while I was being chastised for every mistake I made, like, what are you doing? And it was just fantastic. So it gives a complete experience of with the limited amount of contribution that we can make, but it's something very gratifying.
Great. So I'll follow that up with now a little bit of the future, right? So you're already part of 2 giving circles, and this year you've committed to 2 more. So just a little bit about what motivates you about the model of the giving circle. What is it that, what's the value add that you see in it for wanting to be on more of these?
Yes. No, I love the process in terms of the rigor that goes into it for a variety of reasons. Every NGO, even if they don't end up being the beneficiary of a giving circle, receives a lot of positive inputs in terms of the diligence, in terms of the reports, and I know that many giving circle members go outside of the giving circle and support some of those NGOs on an individual basis. I like the process because it is rigorous, it is well thought out. It is also, at some level, a very, very, very difficult decision to make when you're choosing. Luckily, I was spared that because in Sarthi, I was a late joiner and they'd already decided, and in NAS, you were the only contestants. But this is something, I think the rigor in the process benefits everybody. Giving Circle members get access to other NGOs, even who may not ultimately get the benefit of the Giving Circle, but we get to know about what they're doing, and if it's something that resonates, then you can work with them independently. And thereafter, just the follow-up, the constant kind of update, the kind of support that the NGO receives from Dasra in terms of achieving its objectives. And as Kalyani was saying, just you may have aspirations of X, but with the support of Dasra and the Giving Circle to make it 10X, that is something that is really very satisfying.
Right. So I'll come to you, Kalyani, now, and that's also something, Sridhar, maybe you want to answer after Kalyani, and that's kind of the last question, and we'll open it up to Q&A after that, is what difference has the Dasra Giving Circle actually made to Goal and to NAS? And you as a leader would be great to understand from your perspective.
Among the many things, I think I'd like to just highlight 3 pieces. One, of course, the unrestricted funding. For most people who work with NGOs, you'll realize that the line items in a budget are very tight. If I said, I want an admin officer, for years I was the peon, office staff, everything. Because in our budgets, you can't have an admin person. You can't have an office assistant. Typically, it's only program heads, which is coaches, staff. But to be able to develop and build manpower, you do need unrestricted funding. So I think there are very few such funding platforms where the cycle brings you money which can be used as you think fit, as well as to the best interests of the program. So the unrestricted funding piece was really a huge thing, and this is our first experience with this kind of a funder. Typically, it's all a very tight line item thing, fixed, The second thing I realize is just capacity building. For all of you here, if you see the army which Dasra has, young, smart people, professionals coming with skills, they typically hound you with their skills. I mean, I'm telling you, there's a sense that we were blown away because, Dasra ka call aa raha hai. So there was this team of people who actually literally supported each team member at NAS. So when you look at other programs, very often you may not really get along with the liaison person on the funding team. You have to talk to them, you have to report to them. Here, you have an entire group of people who are literally there to build capacities. We have a lot of young people on the NAS team. They have received a lot of mentoring, coaching, capacity building for M&E. Because if you want to scale a program to that stature, you would need to look at communications, you would need to look at the monitoring and impact, setting up those systems, communicating the story to the outer world. For each of those pieces, we've not had internal capacity. And it was important for NAS to build that capacity. So interestingly, in 2014, I took on a larger role. So from the manager of Goal, I became the program director for all of NAS. Now that meant 110 staff, it meant 5 other programs, and luckily, we had the Dasra leadership program. I went through the 1-year executive program where I looked at strategy, looked at communication, managing people, fundraising. This kind of support, the capacity building, has been really beneficial. And this program really taught us to dream. I always talked about small numbers, but dreaming audaciously. So I can just give you a quick story. So when I now live in Bangalore, and the Goal program is in Delhi, Mumbai, and Chennai. So when I was at a tournament a few weeks ago, one of the Goal coaches, so very much like Sheetal, she's from Delhi. She says, "To Didi, Goal is there in Bangalore now?" So I said, "No, not yet." She says, "Why? Why haven't you scaled?" And this is a girl from the program. She's been through the program, and now she's a coach. So I didn't have her answer, but I didn't think one of the participants would ask me why I haven't taken the program to Bangalore. So I said, well, she says, staff ka problem hai. Okay, you call me for the training. I'll do a train the trainer. I'll start the program. So this whole piece of dreaming audaciously to dream big, that's been possible through this giving circle.
And just before we kind of open up to Q&A, Sridhar, I think just from your point of view, again, what difference has the Dasra Giving Circle made to your thinking or your approach of just giving in general, not necessarily through Dasra, but how it has changed your approach to philanthropy?
No, so in conversations with Deval and JP and a number of other extremely enthusiastic youngsters that work for this organization, so what's evolved for me is that, and I think as Ms. Nilekani was also saying earlier, there is so much inequity that needs to be addressed in this country that there is no good cause or better cause. Every cause is deserving. There may be organizations which are better placed to have a better impact. And Dasra does that for me in terms of finding those organizations, working with those organizations, and helping them really maximize the impact. So that's the piece that is most valuable for me. And as I've told JP, that sign me up for any giving circle where you're missing a member, because for me, it's not so much about choosing or trying to apply my mind. I have basically outsourced that completely to Dasra.
Okay, so with that, we're going to outsource the Q&A session to you guys. So, questions from the audience? Yes, sir, at the back.
Hi, it was fabulous to listen to Sheetal, Kalyani, and Sridhar. You couldn't get a stronger endorsement for Dasra than what you folks have done. Let me flip the tables. You're advising Dasra. What would you advise?
Well, I'm already advising Dasra because we do pro bono legal work for the so Deval has to listen to me. But I don't think that I'm in any position to advise Deval and JP and this team. I think they're just doing a fantastic job. I just look at them in awe. So just speaking for myself, I don't think that I would be in any position to do that.
Likewise, it's not about advice, but what we've realized is that over the years we've worked with them, we've developed a lot of experience of partnering, collaborating, and experience